Good evening, everybody. I'm sleepy, but I'm restless. My mind is racing, and I'm having a bit of a sweet tooth. So I'm about to go steal one of my baby daddy's cinnabons that he has in the freezer. And I want to get some shit off my chest. There's a few things I want to talk about, but I'm trying to decide what to focus on. There's 3 people I want to discuss. It's Beyoncé, JayZ, and Megantheestallion. Why do I want to talk about them? Okay. So, for one, I just watched a video of mine, and in the video, like as soon as the video starts, I'm listening to Deja Vu, right? So I noticed, like, my recollection of that moment was different from how it looked. So basically, I'm beating around the bush. What I'm getting at is channeling these artists, and I'm putting this video out because I met a young lady recently who was a medium in a sense, but she believes that she's just an empath. And simple things like listening to certain music or watching videos or watching a movie can really have you embodying something that you didn't mean to. So when I say channeling, I mean getting a grasp or taking a hold of that kind of possessive energy that can occur. It would be wise for you to understand that because it happened to me. It happened to me long before I realized it was happening. And I'm sure you guys have experienced that with the advances in technology and things of that nature. So if this resonates with you, if you know what I'm getting at, then, you know. So why did I mention Megantheestallion? I mentioned Megan because of the Hiss video. There's a part of the video that today I realized reminded me of a Pataki or story about Eshu. I'm sure you guys have heard this before or seen the imagery of Eshu Alagwa having, the red face and white face. So basically, to make a long story short, there was 2 farmers, and at this particular part in the story, Eshu painted one side of his face red and one side of his face white, and he was talking to both of them, but they were on 2 different sides of this particular line. So one saw a red face, one saw a white face. There's different versions of the story, but basically they had 2 completely different perspectives of the story, but both perspectives were true. However, there was other things at play where they were really close. They were meant to work together. Their wealth was tied together. That's how close they had been. And before that point, it had been cool. But because one of them didn't do what they needed to do, things crumbled. And the fact that they both could not come to understand that each of the other was telling the truth, their friendship suffered. And because their friendship suffered, that bond that they had suffered. Um, there's a part in her video where she's literally embodying Tina Snow and, like, Sugar or one of her other personas. But it's the same kind of imagery where it's like there's red and white and black, and those are all Eshu's colors. So I can't help but think that that's not a coincidence. Eshu's also known as the gatekeeper. There's a lot of Masonic tones and a lot of the things that have come up about him. And people, I don't know why the Masons get so much backlash these days, and I think it's just because of this whole concept of, like, the Illuminati. But I think really people need to understand, one, anyone in the Illuminati is no longer going to be a public figure. One, it's been officially broken up since God knows how long. And if you have any common sense or do any research, you know that these things, if something's broken up, it's not going to just end there. That just means it's going to, those members are going to convert to other orders, or just simply go into hiding or change their name or operate under different pretenses. So even using that name is kind of foolish, because it's like, if there's two options: one, they're still existent or not existent. If they're not existent, irrelevant. If they are existent, still basically irrelevant, because you won't know. Anyone that you think you can place is not going to be in that place. Look at the specific history of the illuminated ones specifically, and see where it started, see where it ended. Wasn't the first order, wasn't the last. So trying to throw this stuff on the one power couple that we have, the one example of a power couple that we have in Hollywood, is just like, we can't have anything good because we're always tearing it down. We are very much still stuck spiritually and physically, emotionally, mentally, in a crab in a barrel situation. And by we, I mean indigenous people, indigenous black people, Native Americans, black Americans, especially African Americans, especially, because y'all have the knowledge. Y'all have always had the knowledge. Y'all just haven't had the means of technology. Y'all have had the resources and the knowledge. We've had the technology. Y'all been going back and forth. Y'all been selling off people, because that's a thing. That's another thing that we do. We want to put all this power into the slave masters of olden times, when the only true slave, I mean, first of all, they're still real slaves. I don't know if y'all are aware of that, but there's still motherfuckers running around right now in America, not aware of what time and what year it is. Like, I don't know if you guys seen that. There's like a movie that's put out. That shit is not just for play. Look into it if you don't know what I'm talking about. All those rural southern states, or the states that you don't hear shit about. You ever think about the fact that there's a lot of fucking states that you never hear anything about? They're huge. There's all these mountain ranges. Exactly. It hasn't been that long. It hasn't been that long. Same way when slaves just started getting free, there was a bunch of slaves still running around, and when they was telling, even when their slave masters wasn't there, and it was like, y'all free, they want to leave. Why? Because the slave mentality, the survival mentality, that mindset, they not only debilitated us physically, they debilitated us corporately, they debilitated us spiritually, you know, ambition wise. They took away the village upbringing, which is a whole nother problem within itself. So I said all this to say that in 2024, my goal is to really just plant seeds of growth and prosperity for myself and I will plan on emanating that back into the universe because I've already been prosperous in my own right. At 32, I have access as a consultant to hundreds of thousands of dollars of funding, and I'm going to be making those channels available to anyone else who's interested in harnessing, that business mindset. Um, that's the space I'm in right now. That's how I'm choosing to use my personal ashe. And I can't speak for anyone else right now. I'm very much on some lone wolf kind of situation, but, you know, any wolf is always going to come from a tribe. It's always going to have a pack. So, um, I was going to circle back to the Carters, but you know, I saw a reading that they might not be making it past the next couple of years. So I'm praying for them if they're interested in actually staying together. But this might be the best time. Blue's already grown enough. Rumi and Sir aren't old enough to have conceptualized you guys being together like that. This would be the perfect time to split if you're going to. Beyonce, you'll be okay, sis. Let it go. I see that Jay has changed, but I don't know if you'll ever be able to truly forgive whatever it is that he did, because I don't think it was as simple as cheating. I don't see Solange attacking him like that over cheating. He's been cheating. Y'all have been open and closing, freaky deaky licky. All that shit is gonna have repercussions. And like you said, you made something you alluded to, like, I'm getting used to you, or one of the songs said something like that. And that might be cute for y'all, but that's not gonna last long either. Y'all gonna get bored of each other again. Just be friends and co-parent right now. Y'all got that big ass house. Y'all could be in two different worlds the whole time. But I don't think it's healthy to keep trying to pour love energy into a situation that y'all both have a timer on. I've been in that situation before. I've done it before. And you're blocking your other possibilities. You've both done so much, and I'm wondering what's next for you both. Like, I kind of feel the same way about the Obamas. Like, I've looked into the foundations and stuff that they've put together while they were in office and after the fact, and I'm just like, what's the move for everybody? What's the plan? I see a bunch of these motherfuckers acting like they're disappearing and dying and this, that, and forth. Them hoes is going into them bunkers. Oprah's bitch ass running to her bunker. Now that Taraji don't put her out there. Monique coming back for blood. And Monique says, this ain't your moment either. Let Taraji be the spokesperson, because what you don't realize is you're your own worst enemy. We would have never known. You blacklisted yourself. I think you're the first person in history that literally blacklisted herself. Because it's like, if we didn't know any of the tea, we knew Tyler and Oprah and Lee Daniels wasn't shit. Everybody know that. Anybody with a discernment can see that they are not shit people. Oprah she is the most jiving coon woman you ever seen. But guess what? Somebody got to do it. Somebody had to break those barriers. Somebody had to kiss the white man's ass and, have a beard and this, that, and the fourth. Yes, I'm talking about Stedman. Tyler, with his, first of all, has anyone ever even watched Ruthless? Hello. For a man to sit there and think of that, that's sick. Something's wrong with him. Like, something's wrong with him. So that little fine light skinned nigga trying to come out and throw hints now and shit like that, Christian, Boy, whoever played in your booty hole, whoever's dick you sucked, that's on you. You ain't the first light skinned nigga to jump into the industry and do it, and you wasn't that talented, so you wouldn't even be relevant now or have gotten into those movies and stuff if he didn't put you on them stage plays. And you knew what you was doing, having your shirt out, doing all of that. Them women wasn't checking you for you like that. I saw the reaction. They didn't. They really didn't give a fuck after the first couple, months or so. It was niggas. So please don't play yourself. You were too grown to be knowing what you were doing. I mean, to not know what you were getting yourself into. And that's if you were even talking about Tyler. And the fact that you haven't cleared his name is shady in itself. So I feel like it was like a dog whistle kind of thing. Like you put it out there and it's like whoever feels it, feels it. But why now? Why are you talking about it now? When Terry Crews came out, nobody said shit. When Tank came out and talked about liking to get his groceries eaten and everybody wanted to shit on him, ain't nobody say shit. But now you motherfuckers want to try to join on Me Too's coattails. I don't know. It's just weird. Y'all was fine when y'all was cashing them checks. Everything was sweet then. Y'all was fine when y'all was getting them nuts off. Shit was cool then. That's why I don't mess with DL man now. I'm 32 years old. If a DL nigga ever been in my space, he had to trick me to do it. Trust and believe, and it's happened. That's how crazy some of these niggas are. That's how deep this shit goes. And y'all think we be out here trying to find these niggas, and these niggas be out here hoping to get found because y'all placed such a autonomy on their sexuality. Women can go and eat pussy until noon, but as long as she got a nigga on her side by 2 or 3, ain't nobody gonna say nothing to her. Do I think men could do that? No. I think if you're a man, you've been around a dude who you've been attracted to and you've gone for that, then you're at least curious. If you continue to do it 2, 3 times, you had a gay intimate relationship. Sorry to tell you. Now, whether you live the gay lifestyle, you continue to carry on with that relationship, that's a whole nother thing within itself. That's where you really truly have a gay person or a bisexual dude. That's really what it is. All this GLBTQIA ABCDA. Nobody asked for that. I don't know. It's nothing more than the devil. It's nothing more than confusion. And y'all just falling for anything. GLBT was nothing more than an acronym to help people be able to compartmentalize. Don't get caught up in that shit. Don't think that everyone's behind it. Don't think everyone's behind the trans movement because we're not. I have some trans friends, but most of them bitches is crazy. Most of them motherfuckers is criminals. Most of them motherfuckers is disrespectful and end up switching back and forth after mutilating their bodies. What they won't tell you is when you go one way or the other, you're going to have some permanent medical issues for life. The shit don't be healing all the way. You can't replace certain parts. The chromosomes were not there for a reason. Like me, for example, if you've ever seen my body, I have like actual titties, like man breasts. There's tissue here that's not supposed to be there. You can see it on tests. It's a whole white tissue that's there. Like I have milk ducts or something. I have shapely hips. I have very feminine features. You can tell my XY chromosome balance was not like it was giving very much. We don't know. You know what I mean? But I just attribute that to one. There's a whole, um, you know, realm of gender that's not discussed, being a hermaphrodite. Like that's something you can look up in Greek mythology, Greek history. I think if that was like a commonplace thing, I would probably consider myself like 30% of a hermaphrodite because I feel like I'm very, very, very much in tune with my divine feminine and divine masculine energies. And I'm pretty sure when I was, you know, in the lab signing my contract, my soul contract to come here, I was giving very much like balance. That's my whole thing, balance. So, yeah, all you hoes, and all you pussy ass hoes, y'all just need to calm the fuck down for 2024, okay? This fake Nicki Megan beef, yawn. And I'm so glad Azalea came out and actually had some sensible shit to say for at least the beginning of the video until she started sliding back into her old ways. But she hit the nail on the head when she said that Nicki is definitely on JayZ's dick. And I think that's why Beyonce slowly backs off of her too. And she don't see that. Nicki don't see. That's the thing with Sagittarius is sometimes it's hard for them to reflect. If you pay attention to a horse or even just a centaur, it's hard for them to look all the way back. You know what I mean? They can fuck some shit up in front of them, but that reflection, looking back at that other side of them, their human side, is not always easy if they do it at all. And like she said, Roman's out right now, so it's no fucks given. She's on demon time, so to speak. And that's another thing too. Y'all kept playing with all this demon time energy. That's why I started getting heavy on my Shiva meditations. Yes. Let me go back to that too. Speaking of meditations and yoga. You motherfuckers that keep trying to act like yoga is like worshiping demons. First of all, that just shows the lack of research and lack of information. Y'all just piecing shit together and running with it. Now, if you're referencing Shiva being a destroyer god, being a Hindu god, and with the Hindus having the devas and having a consortium of what we consider demons or what are really just lower vibrational beings in that specific pantheon, they have a role too. They have a very important role. They all interact with Lakshmi, who literally covers fucking prosperity and prostitution over there, which is look into it. But stop conflating things. Like the nigga is only in that role because of time, because of who else is gonna do it. It's the same way y'all try to put Hades as the god of the underworld. If you look into how Hades even got to that position, Zeus fucking tricked him, his own brother. So, one, y'all need to stop trying to take away from other people's religions and stop trying to make it seem like, oh, God said, put no other gods before me. God was acknowledging other gods in the Bible, but y'all don't want to talk about that. The nigga was jealous in the Old Testament. That's why he realized and sent down Jesus. Like, you know what? Let me try again. Maybe I was too harsh on these niggas. Which I want to pick and choose which I want to pay attention from the Old Testament. But the damn did not pay no. He played the shit out of me. It wasn't not near burger. Ain't no cinnamon in here. I should have went to the fucking store like I started to. I'm about to just go right now. The fuck? Oh, I'm about to use ice cream now. Caribbean coconut. I don't like coconut. I'm Aggie. I'm gonna make me some waffles and call it a day. This shit better be plugged in too. I forgot I got him this soda. I'm like, where the fuck did this come from? You're talking about. That's why he said, "Oh, he don't care if I eat the Cinnabons because he knew the shit was empty." I'm gonna fuck him up tomorrow. But I'm gonna go and buy a fresh box. I'm gonna bring that box to my crib. I'm gonna leave that empty box right in the freezer. It ain't gonna be so tight. Oh, you know what? I'll just get a Nature Valley bar. That shit was hitting last night. It was hitting because I also had the cake. He wanted me to come back. He left all the stuff in the fridge. Like, I knew what he was doing. He's giving very much. I got this feeling that brought me to you. Yeah, you. Yeah. I'm trying to find the chocolate. The other reason why I wanted to mention the three of them is because I've been getting a lot of synchronicity between the whole dynamic of Megan, Beyonce, and so far as to, if you guys know about the whole tension between Rihanna and them, it's like the same thing, in a sense. Like, I think of Jay and Beyonce like Shango with Oba, Oya, and B. It's kind of like, if you think about it in a way, like, to me, Aaliyah is like Obanani, right? Beautiful, dutiful, sensual in her own right. She has all the characteristics of the wife, but it didn't pan out. She ended up getting kicked out after one of the other two of them tricked her into, basically trying to do a spell on Shango, and he wasn't having it. Which, I don't know, something with that story doesn't make sense because she should have known better. I know she knew better, so I just, there has to be more to that story. So that's one of the things I'm looking forward to learning more about in truth. But like I've been getting like this whole thing with like Beyonce, Rihanna, and then if you notice, like Alicia Keys that came into that energy for a bit, like when they had the whole Empire State thing, it was kind of like she brought something to him that Beyonce cannot bring him at the time, like that type of